Okay, guys, we are on to the 3Ms. Now, this is basically fairly simple concept, but because it's so disjointed, okay, because the distance between these things is so great, it can be very confusing for people. So when I say the 3Ms, basically what I mean is your market, that's your avatar, it's the person you're trying to attract, it's the person who you're speaking to. The message is obviously the communication that you have with that person or with that group of people. And then the media is what platform, how do you communicate with these people? What platform do you use? Okay? So, the way I like to think about it is this. If you went fishing, all right, so when I say we're going fishing, the fish that you're trying to chase after are your avatar. So if you were going to catch mackerel, you'd use a certain type of bait or a lure, which would be different than salmon, which would be different than a shark. And the tackle, the rod, all that type of stuff you use is going to be different. And where you fish is also going to be different. All right? So keep that kind of analogy in your head. And the three questions you have to ask yourself. So again, pause this if you need to, grab a pen and paper, start filling some of this stuff out as we go along. Who are you trying to attract? Okay, now if you remember further up in our training, we spoke about avatar. All right, so the avatar is the ideal client. If you can think to yourself, who is the person or who are the people that, would get up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning to train these with a smile on my face? All right, that's your ideal client. That's the person who you want to be speaking to. That's the person who you want to try and attract. Then if you think, when you move into the section of attractive character, you started to formulate a message, and that message was based around you as an individual, why you do what you do, and the people you are trying to speak to. So that's the bait, really, or that's your message. And again, that has to resonate, that has to speak directly to the person you're trying to attract. And then you have to ask yourself, where do these people hang out? All right? Where is their attention? And you've got to put your message in front of them. So, if we're thinking online social media, some people are going to be on Instagram, some people are going to be on Facebook, some people are going to be on LinkedIn, some people are going to be on Google, some people are going to be on YouTube. But the types of people and where they spend their time and where they pay attention is going to be slightly different. And within each of those, platforms, attention span is slightly different. So if you take Instagram, it's quite quick. People are flick, 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 flick. Facebook may be a little bit slower, there's more videos, maybe longer posts. And then something like YouTube, people could go to YouTube and watch an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours worth of content. Nobody's going to do that on Facebook, and they're not going to do that on Instagram, all right? So different types of people on different platforms. But if you think about it this way, if you can see John Smith through John Smith's eyes, you can sell John Smith what John Smith buys. So your John Smith, my John Smith, your avatar, my avatar are different. But if you can get inside your avatar's head and see what they want is most important, and what they need, and combine that, formulate that in all your communications, the likelihood of them buying what you have to sell is going to increase. And that's what we're trying to do here. So again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to pick a market as specific as possible. All right, the more you niche down within reason. If you're a bricks and mortar business, you can't go super nichey, or if you're maybe if you're starting off straight away, maybe you're a little bit more broad. But for me, let's say, for example, I want to try and attract people who are like me. They're over the age of 30, they've got children, they're busy, okay? And when they come to the gym, what they want to do in the gym isn't really about the gym. It's to allow them to live a more fulfilled, more energized, more, a happier life outside of the gym. Family is important to me. Being able to go for a run or hike up a mountain is important to me. So those things are important to me. And how I speak will resonate with people who those values or those things are also important to. All right? So that's what I'm trying to formulate my message around. And then the media we use mostly is Facebook. Okay? Now that might change and will change over time, but that's just how I've set up this at the moment. So really what you're thinking about is you're going to speak to the person in terms of their heart, all right? You're going to get them on feelings, okay? You're going to get them on emotions, because people, they don't really want ripped abs. That's very logical. Oh, ripped abs. What they want is a feeling that maybe ripped abs will give them, or a feeling that slim and lean, or a feeling that tone will give them, All right. So you're speaking to them in their heart, and then basically what they're going to do is use logic to back up their buying decisions. All right. So even if you are more expensive than another person, if you can communicate this way, the person will logically justify your expense based on the emotions that you trigger in them. All right. Now that's really important. So you might actually want to pause this now and go back a little bit and just listen to what I said there again and take a few little notes and think about how you speak to people. Think about how people speak to you. And when I say how people speak to you, people who sell you things, how do they speak to you? Okay? So what we have to think about is this, all right? Red ocean and blue ocean thinking. So this is actually a quite in-depth topic. It's simple and complex at the same time. But if you know where we're based here in Blackrock, there is 3 gyms next door to each other. We're the most expensive. The one next to us is the cheapest, and then there's a medium, I suppose, one that's in between the 2 prices. All right? Now, if I tried to compete with the guys next door, they would obliterate me. Let's say I'm in the red ocean. There's a lot of sharks swimming in around that ocean, and all those sharks are combating, they're fighting each other for the exact same clientele. So the guys, I think I've seen a sign on the door, and it is €200 for 6 months. All right. They've got free classes. They've got more equipment than us. They've got a bigger gym than us. They've got more trainers than us. All right. But we are differentiated. How we communicate is nothing got to do with price. That's the last thing we speak about with people. So we are not getting involved in this red ocean. You've got the Flyfits, the Ben Duns, the Fit for Lesses. All these gyms are in there, and they're all battling each other to try and drop down their prices in order to get people in for cheap. We're over here. We're in this clear ocean. We're out on our own. In the area we are, nobody does what we do. And about every 2 years, you've got to flip things. You've got to shift things. You've got to change what you do or how you do things. You're still going to stick to your core principles, but you're going to flip your conversation ever so slightly to keep yourself a few steps ahead. Because if you sit in this blue ocean for too long, the sharks will generally start to migrate over. All right? So ER offers are weak. That should be weak with an A. Fuck it though. Are weak as fuck, okay? So when you're thinking of this red ocean, blue ocean thinking, anything which ends with ER, I am better than the other gym. I'll get your results faster than the other gym. I'm cheaper than the other gym. See the way it ends in ER? Well, somebody else could come into that space and be better than you. Somebody else could come into that space and be faster than you. Somebody else could come into that space and be cheaper than you. So it makes sense for you guys to not communicate in that way, to not get yourselves involved in those conversations, to differentiate yourself. So again, as I said, I'll say, listen, I'm for men and women over the age of 30 who are married with children who want to live a more fulfilled, energized life outside of the gym. All right? So what we do in the gym will give them the capacity to do everything they want out of the gym. More health, more happiness, more energy, less pain. These are the things that is important to the people I speak to. So if you're thinking about these, all right, there's a few ways that we can start to marry these things up, all right? Your topic that you're going to speak to is hiding kind of in one of these questions. So it's like, what do they need to understand, learn, know before they will convert? So in terms of your market, the message, and then where you're going to put it, right? So they're the things to think about, all right? What barriers do they have to converting? What objections do they have to converting? What are they thinking about, worried about, researching, talking about before they convert, on what you have to offer, all right? And then what is the primary pain point your prospect, your avatar, your ideal client is experiencing? So again, guys, if I was you, I would pause this video right here. I would take a pen and paper and I would write out a few little sentences on each of these questions, and it'll help you just niche up, tighten up that message a little bit. So we've got to understand this in the messaging, all right? It's that each person that you're trying to communicate with has a worldview, all right? And that worldview is how they see the world. And that's based on what they see, what they hear, what they feel, their previous life experiences. So a lot of people, let's say, for example, you're trying to attract women, a lot of people would be, the gym doesn't work. Diets don't work. It's different for me. I've been to these gyms. What they're telling themselves is that, the trainer's bad, this doesn't work, because of all their life experiences has led them to this position. So you've got to break down those beliefs and reframe them. Then we're going to move into their self-belief. And this is more of an internal thing. And a lot of people will say, it's different for me. It's different for me because I've tried before and I've failed. So I'm not good enough. I can't do it. But what you've got to do is you've got to break that down. And you've got to reframe it. And then you've got to show them a roadmap. And the roadmap is your gym, your product, your service. And it's got to have stepping stones. You've got to articulate, or you understand where you are now, or you understand where you want to go. And this is the program, this is the system, this is the roadmap to get you from where you are now feeling like crap to where you want to go, which you're full of energy, ecstatic, and you want to rock and roll. All right? Again, in a business sense, the worldview could be personal training is saturated. All right? Personal training is saturated. The self-view is, that won't work in my town. Or again, that could be worldview. You could be watching this and saying, it's different for them there in Dublin. You could be somewhere else. It's different for them there in Blackrock. There's loads of money in Blackrock. So that could be a worldview. The self-view could be more of an internal thing. It's like, shit, I don't really believe that I'm good enough. I don't really believe that I'm worth 50, 75, or 100 euros an hour. So therefore, nobody will pay me that money. And then, because you have those two limiting beliefs, you never even get into the area of being able to explain your own individual roadmap. Okay? So guys, again, you've got to understand that you're searching now for the starving crowd. So Sean would always say this, the starving crowd. Who are the starving crowd out there that you like to train with? All right? And if you can give them what they want, the food that they want, they're going to be happy. So the market, you've got to pick the market. The message that you formulate has to speak to and resonate with that market. And then the media that you use to deliver that message, your market has to be on that platform. And all your communication has to bring the person from this before state, where they either feel a certain way and they want to feel more energized, they want to look a certain way, and you've got to get them to this after state where they're happy, they're energized, they're, I suppose, ecstatic about the experience they had, and they want to tell all their friends and family about you. So the distance between these 2 points, as you know by now, is the value gap, and your ability to communicate that value gap will dictate the value of your product, your service, and how much you can charge people. So guys, to finish off, to wrap this up, just a little checklist. Again, grab a pen and paper, pause this video if needs be, all right? At this stage, you should have this cracked. If you don't, go back and look at the other videos, all right? Don't just run through all these. Go back and look at the other videos. Who is your market, your avatar, the starving crowd, right? What do they want or need, all right? And again, don't really focus too much on the needs. It's really all about the wants. What do they want? How are you different than the market, okay? What's your differentiator between you and the competitors around you or the other gyms around you, okay? Then you got to understand, how can you help these individuals? What's your roadmap? And then how do you communicate or let them know you exist? Because there's no point being, I'm the fucking best trainer, all those other trainers are shit, if nobody knows about you. All right? If nobody knows about you, well, fuck it. You're never going to be able to get any business. You're never going to be able to help people. So, guys, that's what I got for you at the moment. The next one up is going to be traffic. So I'll see you on the other side. Any questions, hit us up as always.